Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Check this out, y'all. Stephen has achieved what he set out to achieve from the very get-go. Now, I want to remind you that he was 12 years old when this journey began for him. And now he's close to 40. And he has achieved something that the majority of people in the criminal lifestyle don't achieve, and that is becoming the number one gangster in the prison system, right? Now, that is not something to be proud of, but it's also not something that you should sneeze at, because you have a lot of kids out there that want to be like Stephen. They believe that this is a worthwhile endeavor. It's not true. We know that. But again, people want that. Why? Because the lifestyle choices that he made and a lot of people make, if you're going to do it, be the best at it. If you want to do what you want to do, be on the top. So he thought that he was succeeding. He thought he was doing, what most people in GD would want. Keep striving to become the best that you can be at it. And the pinnacle of that is to be at the top. Now he's at the top. But he's going to learn that trying to hold on to something so violent, so immoral, it's going to cost him a whole lot. It's going to cost him a whole lot. Because some of the things that he's done to get to this level, and this is important because people need to understand, if you choose this lifestyle, the things that you're going to have to do to survive it and to excel in it are going to compromise you as a human being, and you're going to do things that you never would have imagined that you would do. But again, it's your choice. It's your choice. It's your choice. But before I get into it, I want to let you know again that the book that me and Boo collabed on, Rivals, is coming out. It's available on jtb3.org. Check that thing out. And we appreciate your support. But I'm getting ready to get into this episode. I want y'all to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Check this thing out right. Now, Stephen, he's that guy. He's that guy. And he's been making a lot of decisions that affect everybody throughout the state. And a lot of people don't like some of the decisions that he's made. Particularly, like in the last episode, what I was telling you about the decision that he made to take those 8 brothers that were involved in their skirmish with the Bloods. He stripped them. They are no longer gangster disciples, right? They are on their own. What's so tragic about that is 3 of those brothers, they were innocent. And they made their appeal to him, and they were still denied the right to remain gangster disciples. And a lot of people around the state that had heard about what happened at this particular institution were upset by it. So the campaign to undermine him is on. That's part of it. It's part of being in leadership. You're not going to please everybody. And you have to deal with a lot of the things that are going to come with that. And that is people undermining your authority. He did it to get to where he's at. Again, creating the environment of, a cannibalistic environment. You have to expect that. Everybody is trying to achieve a certain level of success as they define success by crushing the person that's beside them, in front of them, to the left, to the right, and behind them. You understand? How can any organization survive like that? It can't. Not and be fruitful, right? But you got to remember, when you're dealing with criminal life, the criminal lifestyle, you're not dealing with things that are going to make people's lives better morally. Morally, y'all. I want you to make sure you understand when I say that, what I'm talking about. You're not making anybody's life better morally. You're creating pain and destruction wherever you go. But Stephen, he's gotten what he wanted. But let me tell you what brought him down. This story is epic and it's legendary. A lot of you listening are going to be reminded, and it's going to be like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. You're right, this is that story. So let me tell you what happened. One day, Stephen and his number two are snatched up by the people at the institution, and they take him to the hole. Now, while they're in the hole, unbeknownst to Stephen's number two, right? And this, let me tell you who his number two was. I'm not going to call his name. But his number two was somebody that was well respected throughout the state. Everybody knew him. And they respected him. He was, you know what I'm saying, GD through and through. Real type dude, right? Would do anything for the cause, followed the rules, did the right thing, you know what I'm saying, made the right decisions when he could, and all of that. He even pushed back when bro wanted, you know what I'm saying, to make sure all 8 of them were stripped. His number two, he pushed back against that. Even though he lost, he still stood up and said, this is not right. He was overruled and the decision stood, right? So, his number two and him, Stephen, are in the hole. What happens is this. Now, his number two doesn't know that Stephen has these alliances with the administration. He's had them from the very beginning of his incarceration, adult incarceration. So this stuff is starting to come to fruition to where they want something. So this is what they did. They go to the hole and they go get Stephen. They get him out of the cell. Now Stephen, the captain, and the internal affairs, they walk to Stephen's number two cell, right? His number two. And they say, look, you're going to either get out of the hole or stay in the hole based off of what you say. Now his number two is thinking, okay, wait a minute. This is going to be some mess. You know, bro's out. He must want me to go along with this so we can get out. Cool. So this is what they say. Matter of fact, Stephen takes over. This is what Stephen tells him. He said, look, they want us to provide them with a roster of everybody in the organization, active, retired, etc. So his number two gives him a look. Say, wait a minute. Look, wait, what? They want us to do what? They want a list of everybody that's in the system that is currently a gangster and retired. So his number two looks at him again and said, we don't do that. What are you on, man? So Stephen looks back at him and said, man, look, you either do it or stay in the hole. It don't make me no difference. What you want to do? So he told him, he said, man, y'all all get up off my door, man. Y'all know what it is with me. And he said, you know what it is, right? So his number two is being a little naive because, well, it's not being naive because he really didn't know how entrenched Stephen was with these people, okay? So they walk off the cell. He just don't know there's another gangster that's in the hole. Somehow or another, he gets the phone to the number two. The number two calls the town. He don't call people in the penitentiary. He calls some BMs on the town and tell them, look here, man. In another state, he's calling them. It says, look, this is what's going on. I'm giving y'all heads up. They said, well, when it comes to us, we'll deal with it. You feel what I'm saying? So he gets off the phone, get the phone back to the little brother, and now he lays back. He's not really seeing how bad this is finna get, okay? So check this out. Stephen is let out of the hole. He gets out of the hole. He goes back to the compound. Next thing you know, his number two gets word from the compound said, and they writing you up for being a traitor. They say you back here, you snitching. So he sees what's going down. He's gone out there and he's flipped it around to make everybody believe he's the one that's back here snitching and not Stephen, right? So in the penitentiary, especially when you're mixed in doing business with the fam, when you get labeled somebody that's snitching, you basically a traitor to the cause. You don't abandon the cause. So you know what that calls for, right? From head to toe. And when we say from head to toe, we're talking about stuck from head to toe, to the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You feel what I'm saying? So the word is out. It's spreading all over the state that Stevens number 2 is a rat. He got to go. And when I say go, I mean 6 feet under. Period. Point blank. At the end of the day, they transfer him from that institution to another institution. He gets to another institution. The word is already set. Get him. They put the hit squad together. They go to get him. But one of the guys on the squad that's going to get him, he knows the number 2. You feel me? He been knowing him all his life. And he said, man, this ain't straight. You feel what I'm saying? He said, stand down. We're not doing this. We need to look into this, right? But the word has come from the top. He's got to get it. And that's just that on that. So when he go back to the brothers at that compound that had that compound and tell them, look, we need to look into this, they said, man, now you finna get it and the number 2 finna get it. And they beat him within an inch of his life. And then the number 2, they try to get at him, but then they snatch him up and they put him back in the back just like that. Now this time, you have somebody to go to him in the administration and say, look, why don't you just cooperate and tell us what we want to know and you will be just fine. If not, we're going to turn you over. We're going to let them get you. So the number 2 said, no, I can stand on my own. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. This guy here, he's known to be a hard hitter. He's not a sucker. But when that blue wave comes after you, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think. But at the end of the day, when that blue wave comes after you, hey, man, it's going to get ugly. So guess what they do? They take the one brother that refused to put in work on the number 2 that's got his brains beat out. They put him in protective custody. They take the number 2. They come there to get beat. They ship him to another prison. The word is all over the state. Get him wherever he touched down. When he touched down, as soon as he gets off the bus, they waiting on him. They get him. About 4 of them, hem him up. They done trapped him in the trap. He can't get away. It's going down 4-on-1, and they got butchers. He gets hit, they say, anywhere from 13 to 18 times, from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. No joke, y'all. It got that real. They were poking him. They say he was holding his own until they started hitting him in his side, and he started to slide down the fence, losing consciousness. The police is coming, but hey, we know what it is, y'all. We know what it is. We don't know what's going on. Why is it taking them so long? They get to him. They take him to the hospital. They bandage him up. Put him in protective custody. Transfer him to another penitentiary. He gets to this other penitentiary. He say, I won't offer this PC. I don't want to be back here. They let him out. They put him on the compound. Now, the people on the compound, they looking at him. And he ain't running. He ain't running. So now they like, man, what's going on? They get at him because some of them brothers, they've been knowing him for a long time too. So they get at him and he tell them what happened. And they say, no, this can't be true. He said, man, on everything, that's what went down. He came to my cell with the police and he wanted to know who was retired and who was active. They want a list of everybody. And he said, I refused to do it, and they labeled me the rat. You understand? So what happened after that? Now people start to question. Now let me tell you, this is how Stephen's world started to unravel. Do you remember the other episodes? When I told you about being a confidential informant, it's this piece of paper that you fill out, or that they fill out and talking about what you do. You know, it's just like a dossier about you, right? Well, guess what? One of the guys was able to come up with that form. And it had Stephen's info on it. And it talked about the homosexual activity. It talked about the informing, getting brothers shipped, this, that, and the third. Don't nobody know how he got that. The rumor was it was fake. Somebody typed it up. Don't nobody know. But here's the thing. When they got it, check it out now. When they got it, somehow or another, they got mailed all over the state. Not to the POAs, the people at the top, don't forget what I told you. The POAs are people in positions of authority. It didn't go to them. It didn't go to the board. It didn't go to them. It didn't go to none of the top people. It was mailed out randomly to all the OSMs. So now the bodies got it. The bodies got this. And it was also mailed out to other gangs. Vice Lords, Gang Bloods, Crips, Aryan Nation. It was mailed out. It was a massive campaign to bring him down because of what he had done. So now guess what happened, y'all? Y'all know what happened. Now his life is in danger because nobody knows if they can protect him. Nobody knows who really believes it. Because now brothers all over the state are asking questions. Is this true? This paperwork is saying this. But everybody knows, wait a minute, this can't be real. How would he even be able to get this type of paperwork? That casts doubt on the thing. But here's the problem with that. Even if it was fake, it made people start to question what was going on. So when the story came to me from this brother, I said, why would you want me to tell this story? Why would you want me to tell this story? He said, because I thought what I wanted was worth all the things that I did. And it's not. I said, so you regret those things that you did? He's like, yeah. But let me get back to the story, what happened to his number two. Then I'm going to get back to him. So his number two is welcomed back into the fold. At the institution that he was at, some of the brothers went to him and said, we want you back. He said, nah, I can't come back while he's still around. You know what I mean when I say still around. They said, we can't do that, but we're going to remove him. He's already been removed. He said, that ain't good enough. They almost killed me. With tears in his eyes, he told them, they almost killed me when I was loyal to the cause. I need you to understand what I'm saying about that, y'all. Y'all need to understand that you can take somebody that's loyal to this criminal lifestyle and they could still almost lose their life because somebody will tell a lie. Ain't got to be no truth in it. It's just got to be convincing. Because once you lose your life, it ain't no do-overs. This isn't a video game where you can punch a button and buy a new life. We're not playing Dungeons and Dragons, y'all. This is real deal Holyfield stuff. So he said, no, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back. A few years later, he makes parole. Everybody is trying to get him to come to a citywide. A citywide out there is basically when all the gangsters come together into one city and they get together and this fellowship and they're just kicking it, enjoying themselves, having a good time. So they invite this brother to come. He said, I would not dare show my face because I don't trust y'all no more. That's the nature of this lifestyle. It's cannibalistic. It's cannibalistic, y'all. I lived this life for a long time. And I'm telling you what it is. Now this brother, he's gone on with his life. And he's doing quite well, from what I understand. But he bears and wears the scars that represent all the decisions that he made in his life, pledging his love, life, and loyalty to a cause that couldn't love him back. It's not built on that. It says it. Don't bear it out, though. He almost lost his life for being loyal to that cause. Remember that. Now let's get back to Stephen. When I asked him, I said, tell me again, why you want me to tell this story? Why do you want this out like that? He said, because I understand now. I said, man, I wonder how many people had to pay with their lives? How many people had to pay with receiving bodily harm? How many people were used and manipulated for you to learn your lesson? Yeah. See, that's what we have to think about, y'all, when we live and we participate in this criminal lifestyle as we go through our growing pains and doing all the things that cause so much pain and destruction and in some cases death. How many people have to suffer before we get it? I think about that every day. All the people that I hurt. And then I look on the other side where I'm at now. And I said, why did it have to be that way? Because it didn't. It didn't have to be that way. People shouldn't have to die. People shouldn't have to be hurt for anyone to be the best version of themselves. It's okay to learn a hard lesson as long as it don't cost somebody else. But when you live a criminal lifestyle, your growing pains is usually costing somebody else their happiness, their liberty, and in some cases their lives. So remember that when you consider being a part of this lifestyle, that gangster lifestyle, whatever gang you want to represent. So if you got a child that's around that age that Stephen was when he became infatuated with the brotherhood that he thought he saw, pull them. Occupy their time, you can occupy their minds. You understand? If you occupy their time, you can occupy their minds. Left to their own devices at that age, they will seek out whatever makes them feel good. We've done it. Remember that. The world is a lot more dangerous than it was when we were coming up. So remember that. If you don't know where your child is, think about it like this. Somebody else can be raising your child. Somebody else can be influencing your child. No matter how well-intentioned you are, if you're not spending time, you're leaving it to somebody else. And I understand how it goes, but I'm going to leave you with that. But before I go, I got to push the book one more time, y'all. Rivals is available at jtb3.org. That's Boo's website, y'all. Go there, check that thing out, man. Go there and get it. Thank you for your support. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.